Welcome to the Homeownership podcast presented by Movementum Realty, located in Hanover, Massachusetts. This series covers all things real estate and the best practices for buying, selling, and owning property. Now here is your host, Sean Maloney.
Welcome to episode 215, 3 Fun Outdoor Home Improvement Projects. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Maloney. Thanks for joining me this week. This week I want to talk to you about something that I'm pretty passionate about. That's outdoor projects. I once owned a tree and landscape company, which doesn't make me an expert, might make me an expert, probably am an expert, but understand the outside very well. Today's episode, we're going to break down a few things that you can do, 3 of them to be specific, that don't cost much money and can greatly improve your house. Whether you're going to live there for the long term or you're going to put the place up for sale, it's nice to get things done and have the place looking nice. So first off, the easiest one, there's no money needed until we get to the mulch step, but cleaning up your beds. So going in there, weeding, pulling all the different weeds that have grown in, getting in there and trimming back the bushes and everything, hand pruners or hedge trimmers. Don't tell me this one, guys. I don't want to hear I don't know, because you do know. You know how I know you know? You're here listening to the podcast. So if you don't know how to trim a bush, I know you know how to get to those answers. I know you know how to jump on YouTube and watch based on the exact bush you have. I know you know how to take out your camera, take a picture, use Google Lens, use one of the Apple tools where you can look at what type of plant it is. This is 2023, so excuses don't really work. But cleaning up your planting beds includes weeding, edging, trimming, cleanup, and mulching. So out of those, the mulch costs you money, but the weeding, just handwork. The trimming, just handwork. The cleanup, rake up the leaves and everything. Some people, maybe in the city, things like that, you might need to pay a little bit for disposal. But cleaning up your property is ultimately going to add value and add the appreciation that everyone has for your value, including yourself. Just feeling good when you're getting home. Just feeling nice and like you're at home. Last but not least, mulching. Mulching, though, be careful. Don't put it up against the side of the house. It is sometimes flammable, so be very careful about that. Don't be throwing cigarettes or anything like that in the mulch beds. And buying a quality product matters. Make sure that where you're buying it, you've gone and seen it. It doesn't come with bugs, trash, or anything else. Bagged mulches work, but they tend not to be as quality unless you're spending a lot of money. But mulching and that whole cleanup process just makes the house totally pop for so little. And then edging is a really easy thing where you just take a shovel and you dig a straight line, or you dig a curved line, depending on what type of edges you want. And you have that differentiation of just maybe 1, 2, 3 inches of edge where it steps down a little and then steps back up into the bed, which gives a defined line of what is a bed and what is the lawn. These few little things that you can do will really make such a big difference in your house. Next up, this one's basically free. I think you can do this one for $5 or $6. Cleaning the windows on a home can make a huge difference in the home's appearance. Almost every single buyer, when they go in your house, if they're buying, they're going to open the blinds and they're going to look. And they're going to look out at the place. Now, dirty windows can appear as old. The funny thing about most things in the house, the heating system, the AC, the windows, a lot of people truly don't know much about them. But when they look at them, when they're cosmetically dirty, they think old. So cosmetically dirty equals old. Simply wiping down those windows is going to give a newer appearance or show them properly as they are if they are newer. I'm not telling you to deceive anybody, but certainly cleaning the windows and making people feel better about them is a huge difference. Now, when you clean the windows inside out, really important. If you can, I understand not all of you can get on ladders, not everyone has tilt-in windows, but do realize that if you can't do them yourselves, having the outside windows cleaned during the sale process can really help people better establish the home. Again, thinking age of windows, better view, everything like that makes a big difference. So make sure, clean your windows if your house is up for sale. And if it's not up for sale, just clean your windows to generally maintain them. Like everything around a house, if you simply wipe it down every once in a while, you clean it up, it won't rust as much, it won't rot as much, it won't have as many problems, it won't get stained, it won't all these things. A lot of the reason things won't clean up around a house or things are a real issue around a house is its a lack of care and a lack of consistent checking in. Now, I know the modern world has changed a lot, and a lot of people spend a lot of their time on the road doing things and getting everywhere. A house takes a lot of care, and to not care for it correctly, it's totally allowed. But what ends up happening is you're depreciating value. So just keep that in mind. I can do it to maintain value, or I cannot do it and lose value. It's like a bank account, right? You can't overdraft. So if you take too much and you don't do enough, you end up overdrafted. What do I mean? Stuff ends up breaking, things like that, because you're basically accruing a balance like a bank account. I used to teach people like that a lot when I was talking in landscaping, and the idea of there's only really a few places things could come out of. 1, you do it. 2, I do it. 3, no one does it. And on option 3, if no one does it, the work is just accruing, right? So if no one does work around a house, it just accrues until a point where it breaks the back. But you guys have probably heard it, sweat equity. Really great way to get wealthy in real estate. So now, last but not least, one of the most important ones, lawn envy is real. It's just like curb appeal, right? Curb appeal, people really take that serious. So having a beautiful lawn is going to pull the eyes. If you want to be the best lawn in your neighborhood, you're going to have to see it often and early. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking the difference between someone who has a great mature lawn and someone who doesn't is something like luck or a green thumb, or maybe that they have a different seed or all these different things. Now, not every property can grow grass, sun, shade, the water, the soil, all that stuff. But with proper work, most every single lawn actually could be good. Most people just don't overseed after the original planting. You should be overseeding at least 2 to 3 times a year. Some of the best people at grass actually keep a little bucket of seed, and when they mow their lawn and stuff and they notice a little trouble spot, they throw a little seed down. Grass plants don't live forever. Grass plants don't thicken forever. So we need to constantly be adding new species in, and as the light dynamic or other things changes, the new species will live in the areas where it may not have survived before. With early spring weather, aeration and overseed is perfect from here forward, so you guys can get out there this weekend and take care of one of these projects. I hope these projects help make your house a better place or make you some money when you go to sell that house. Please reach out to us over here at Momentum Realty if you have any questions about buying, selling, or owning homes. We really appreciate you listening to this episode, and I look forward to talking to you next week.